What's up guys, I'm Dave, the founder of the Military Millionaire community, and today I want to talk to you about the best real estate apps for investors in 2021. These are the best apps for investing in real estate, in my opinion. So the best real estate apps for investors are great tools for you to have access to if you want to be successful. There are so many real estate apps floating around, and it can be overwhelming to decide which is actually worth using in your business. To make matters even worse, if you search best real estate apps on Google, most of the top articles that show up just regurgitate Realtor, Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, LoopNet, Xome or whatever, and maybe one unique app on top of them. While these apps are great, and I included one of them in this list, they're focused on buying a home through an agent. These apps aren't specific to investors, and they won't help you find off-market deals or build your business. Now, for that reason, I wanted to let you in on a few of the apps that I have personally used as a real estate investor and why I like them. Now, if you're new to this channel, we focus on helping service members, veterans, and their families learn how to build wealth through real estate investing or entrepreneurship or personal finance, right? Like that's it. Real estate investing, entrepreneurship, personal finance, we're all about it. All things VA loan, TSP, military finance, whatever. Now, if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you subscribe and smash that like button to let YouTube know that this video is worth the shit, because I would appreciate that. Really, that's the only reason. Now, best apps for finding real estate deals. These are the real estate apps that you're probably most interested in. I can't say I blame you. Finding leads and deals online is very exciting, and without leads, you'll never be a successful real estate investor, right? So that's the long and short. Number one is PropStream. PropStream is the most all-inclusive real estate app for investors, and I cannot recommend it enough. Think of this as the investor's version of the multiple listing service, or MLS access, right? On steroids. PropStream allows you to search for properties, pull lists of homes in the market, skip trace leads, pull tax information on properties, see how many properties a potential seller owns, and so much more. PropStream has been an absolute godsend for me as I've been ramping up my marketing for deals, and I will be using it for years to come. Not only can you find almost any amount of information you could ever want on a property and run accurate comps on them, but you can even send postcards directly from their system. Oh, and you can see all the properties on and off market, not just properties listed on the MLS, which is phenomenal. Number two is Deal Machine. Deal Machine is somewhat similar to PropStream, but instead of operating like the MLS, it operates more like a customer relationship management tool, like a CRM software that was built around driving for dollars. So if you plan to drive for dollars, Deal Machine is a must-have app that I used with a friend while I was stationed in Hawaii. I haven't used it as much over the last year or two because I'm not investing locally. I'm investing out of state, so driving around here wouldn't do me much good. But if you want to drive around and look for properties, I don't think there's a better app. I mean, Deal Machine was created exactly for this. You can even build a team on the app and use it to allow bird dogs, people who find prospective properties for you, to access to it, and so that you can have all these people driving around. If they see an ugly house, they boop, and it's awesome. So what Deal Machine does is it allows you to drive up to a property, take a picture of it, and with the click of a button, send them a postcard. Or you can have it set to where it automatically sends like 4 postcards, 8 postcards, whatever you want to do. And it has like a picture of the actual house on it, so they know like, hey, this guy actually has seen my house before, right? Which stands out. So this absolutely increases your success rate, because it's all too easy to send a letter and then forget to follow up. Or worse, you forget to send the letter in the first place, right? So very simple. Number 3, Realtor. Realtor.com is one of my several online platforms, right? I mentioned it above, Zillow and all those. And they have an app for looking at properties that are on the MLS. Now it's free, so I like Realtor because it's simple to use and it doesn't give you any super misleading zestimates like Zillow does, right? Realtor isn't anything special, but you can set up automatic searches, and I've got a video on that, that will shoot you an email or a phone notification anytime a new listing hits the market that meets your criteria, which gives you the chance to be the first one in to see that property. Now, given that this real estate app is free and simple to use, I think it's a no-brainer. So, it's great. All right, now we're going to talk about some complementary apps for your business as a real estate investor. These are the applications that I use to enhance my real estate investing business. They're simple tools that will make your life a little bit easier. First one is RE Simply. RE Simply is the real estate CRM, and it's the one that I personally use to track all of my deals from the moment a lead calls in to the moment I buy or offload, whatever, their property. It is tracked through RE Simply. There is simply no way I would ever be able to keep track of all my leads without this CRM. The more leads you bring in, the busier your life is going to become, and the harder it will be to follow up on your leads appropriately. So RE Simply not only tracks all of the leads that come in and allows me to follow up with them along the pipeline, but it also allows me to set up automatic text messages and follow-up systems too. I love this because I can send a lead that ghosted me. I can just be like, boop, and I can put them on an automatic drip and stay in touch with them for months on end, or even like I have it set up to go, I think, all the way out to 2 years. It's like first week, third week, month, 2 months, 6 months, year, whatever, right? I can follow up with them until they ask to be taken off my list without taking any time from working on the more promising leads at all. It just happens automatically. To drive home how powerful this is, Saturday, my team is meeting with a lady at her property, 2 homes on 1 parcel, so 2 houses, I guess, to look at it to give her a cash offer. Now, the price she is asking is very tempting, and unless there's something wrong with the property, I think this would work as a solid deal. Now, this lady was one of the first 3 leads that I ever input into RE Simply, and she's been on an automatic drip with me for almost a year now. If I hadn't had this automatic drip follow-up system, I wouldn't have been the person she called when she finally decided to look into selling the homes. Now, assuming this deal goes through, that follow-up system will single-handedly pay for RE Simply's subscription for me for like the next 2 to 3 years, if not more. The next one is an app called ICBA, Community Bank Locator. Now, ICBA, or the Community Bank Locator app, is one of my favorite free tools. Now, when you open this simple tool up, you're literally greeted with a single search box that has a zip code place. You put your zip code in, you hit search, and it populates a list of, yeah, you guessed it, local community banks. This app is how I found the bank that I've used for all of my transactions over the last 3 years. Simply type in a zip code, click search, and then call all of your local banks in your area. Local banks are much more flexible on lending terms, especially if they're a true portfolio lender, which means that they can work even more with you on your deals. Now, you're also more likely to be able to build a relationship with a specific lender in that bank, which will even further enhance your ability to to land better financing, right? So I'm a huge fan of this app because it allows you to find in one spot all of those local smaller banks and then build relationships with them to get the best financing terms. All right, now the next one up is the Zillow mortgage calculator. Now, while I'm not a huge fan of Zillow because people put too much weight in the Zestimate value of their home, which is often way off the mark, I do like their mortgage calculator. It's super simple. It's just another simple free tool and you can use to analyze property. Simply pull it up, type in the details of the loan you're looking to get, and boop, it will pop out your estimated monthly payment. This can be as simple as plugging in the purchase price, estimated down payment, and zip code, or as complicated as plugging in your county's tax rate and choosing your own interest rate and all kinds of other stuff. It's just a simple tool, and it gives you a much better idea of how much principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, your PITI, will cost on that property. So I use this tool anytime that I'm analyzing a rental property to balance out how much cash flow I'm going to have based on the estimate for that mortgage price. Now, here are the best apps for your real estate business. Admittedly, these are not real estate specific apps, but they're still great apps for you to utilize in your business, and I use all of them. First up is MileIQ. Now, MileIQ has saved me literally thousands of dollars over the last 2 years, and I cannot believe that no one told me about this sooner. My current tax professional told me about this application on our first call, and it single-handedly has managed to cover the cost of all of his services, including filing my tax returns for all 4 LLCs last year. MileIQ is a very simple app and a must-have for every real estate investor and business owner. Simply download the app, input your vehicle's information, and start driving. That's it. It automatically tracks when you're driving and then pops up a notification after you drive. You simply click on the notification, you swipe left for personal use or right if it was a business-related expense, and ta-da. It tracks how many personal miles, how many business miles, and at the end of the year, pull the annual report from MileIQ, you email it to your CPA. It's that simple. And then it'll tell you how many miles you drove at what dollar or what amount per mile, blah, 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 and it just writes all that off, or you can write all that off. So put that in perspective. Last year, I was able to write off a pretty solid amount of money, let's say $5,000. This doesn't mean that I save $5,000 in taxes, but it means that my tax rate, $5,000 of my taxable income didn't count. So whatever that tax rate was, at my tax rate, I probably saved like $1,000 off that, right? So pretty solid, can't complain. Pretty sweet app. It's like $6 a month. Definitely check it out. Next up, we have Calendly. Now, Calendly is a lifesaver for me. Calendly is just a scheduling app that allows you to create several different events for your calendar in order to other people, you invite them and other people can schedule. For example, I currently have an event set from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. every Wednesday Pacific time to record podcasts. Now, when I have potential guests lined up for the show, I can simply shoot them the scheduling link in a text, email, Facebook message, carrier pigeon, or whatever other medium you would like to use, and then they can schedule any of those times that fit whatever date best for them, right? So they get to pick when they want. Now, I use this approach for scheduling investor calls, coaching calls, podcasts, and sometimes intro calls. Although, full disclosure, I've kind of slowed down on the introductory calls because people just kept no-showing me, and yeah, but anyway, Calendly is a complete game changer, right? Calendly has allowed me to systemize my meetings and block schedule them ahead of time. So I know that every Wednesday night, I have set aside 3 hours for podcasting. I either fill it or I don't have it, but there's nothing else that can get scheduled during that time. And Saturday afternoon is for investor phone calls. I had like 5 phone calls yesterday with investors and sellers. So I highly recommend you set up a Calendly account in order to systemize your communications and increase the amount of networking that you can accomplish. OnlineJobs.ph. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea if OnlineJobs.ph has an app for their website. Nonetheless, I wanted to include it in this list because this is the best platform I've ever used for finding a virtual assistant. Now, as your business grows, you may find yourself wanting to hire a VA to bring in and handle a lot of the menial tasks that you're doing right now. You may even want to use this person to, like, for marketing, to reach more leads, like however you want to use them, right? A lot of people use virtual assistants. Now, I have a really solid video, 2 actually, about virtual assistants, but one specifically to OnlineJobs.ph. Go watch that if you want a lot more details. Hopefully it'll answer all your questions, and when the time comes, you're ready to hire that VA, you'll be ready. So I'll also link down below if you want to, well, I'll link down below to all of these apps, but for that one specifically too. The last one is Xome. Xome has become a household name over the last year, and I'm sure you really don't need to elaborate too much on that, but that being said, Xome is very beneficial for networking with other investors, hosting virtual meetups, or even just share your screen with another investor to double check the numbers or the analysis you ran on a property. I did that this week. I have a big deal going on. I have a buddy who's an underwriter, and I shared my screen and showed him some numbers, and he was a fan, right? So definitely a lot of potential there for just using Xome for a lot of that stuff. And I've used it for classes and webinars and all kinds of stuff. Now, virtual networking opportunities gained a ton of traction in 2020, and I think they're here to stay. All right, here's the too long didn't read, or the whatever. I don't know how you would do that. I mean, you just skip to the end of the video, but the best real estate apps for investors. There are a ton of apps for investors, and you owe it to yourself to play around with a few of them to see which can best help you improve your business. The best real estate investing apps will vary based on your personal investing strategy and what roles you play in your business. However, I believe these apps can absolutely help you scale your business, and they absolutely have mine, right? So what real estate apps do you guys use for investing? I would love if you just drop some in the comments. What did I miss? I'd love to check out some other ones. I know there's I also use a launch control for texting, although I don't think that one's an app. I use a whole bunch of random other stuff. Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys use, and I would love to be able to check some of those out and see if I can improve my systems. Make sure you subscribe and smash that like button, and I hope this helped. Have a great day.